الحرمان لا يبرر الفلتان.
الحرمان لا يبرر الفلتان. الحرمان لا يبرر الفلتان.
When you want to talk about the Lebanese media giants, always ask yourself, who owns this media? The bourgeoisie and political warlords' ownership of the traditional media institutions in Lebanon, according to Marzouk's Fallen television documentary in 2005, has often led to the marginalization of certain classes so naturally that the media people have convinced themselves and their audience of being objective. Within the confines of the 5 media filters proposed by Herman and Chomsky's propaganda model in 1989, there is no doubt that the dominant narrative is shaped according to the political economic agenda of the owners and advertisers that shapes public opinion and public consent.
This representation is most obvious in MTV's media discourse. In this example, MTV produced a program called I Am a Woman that promotes the aristocratic women of society. According to Fallen Television by Majzoub 2005, it would have been better if the show was named I Am a Rich Woman. In another example, An-Nahar recently launched a campaign that indirectly calls upon the Lebanese community to give Lebanon a break during the month of December, signifying that the lower classes' needs and protests could wait for after New Year's Eve, quoting, as if all the corruption and the hungry people could wait. We tried asking some LAU students how they believe Lebanese media promotes classicism.
All their reports or all their programs are targeted to a specific class in society. Their programs often represent and manifest, if we can say, the upper class and the middle to upper class, and there's a big disregard to and neglect to the lower class.
Ways media is used is to promote classism and to justify it in a way to make people believe that they don't fit into a certain class. For example, the entertainment shows and the trends that go around on the media, when people watch them, they don't identify with them.
These channels are directly targeted towards a specific type of people of a certain class. So for example, MTV targets the rich class by employing all the beautiful ladies, those who look rich, those who dress rich, those who talk rich, and even their talk shows pertain to the same idea.
These classist divisions come as a result of the capitalistic lifestyle that the Lebanese society lives by, a concept that causes multidimensional economic and social formation by marginalizing people of certain classes according to Fou's structuration concept in 2016. Classism became more obvious in traditional media channels after the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, when some people, including the lower class of society, could not quarantine because of their desperate need to work for money, especially in Tripoli and Manara, two relatively poor towns in Lebanon. However, they were called
بلا مخ.
At the same time, the media did not shed the light on this part of society who were partying every day in Faraya.
I really gotta hold on.
Similarly, this form of classicism can be obvious when MTV reporters covered the irresponsibility of people who did not wear masks. The reporters stepped into Ashrafiyeh, a relatively high-class, considered city, while only roaming in the car, in طريق جديدة, a relatively middle-lower-class town, under the excuse of there's too much people. After all this, the same LAU students gave suggestions on countering this problem.
Promoting and encouraging new TV programs, new TV channels maybe, that shed lights on more important and social issues rather than everything that is related to money.
Medias to oppose the mainstream media that is enforcing classism.
That this starts by the basic education, and then we could move on to a larger scope, which is judiciary organizations, implementing laws, reinforcing them, to always try to portray all social classes and all types of people in a fair manner.
والله بخيل لك الجبنه ما فيها جبنه خي شوف
زياد يا زياد يا غيره جرب غيري شوف اذا بيحط اكثر مني.
تعتذر منه جورج؟
طبعا لا
اكيد بعدك لهلا عم بتكابر، ما بتعتذر انت.
To counter this problem, one must not fight what the media feeds us, but how it feeds us through acting as bearing witnesses in line with Ristovska's concepts of witnessing in 2016. The recent episode of Joe Malouf on a traditional Lebanese media channel can serve as an example of how the media could act as a bearing witness against these forms of oppression that have been mirrored in society.
After all, it is the media's utmost duty to produce programs that counter the oppression of certain classist representations in Lebanese media through its talk shows that should act as a bearing witness that target a particular audience with clear, tangible call to action.
مش الطريقة الصحيحة. لناكل البازيلا بنعمل هيك من نكعمها شوي صغيرة، نمعسها شوي صغيرة ومن ثم بتصير هينة تمرق بالشوكة. ناخدها
الزيتونة شو بنعمل فيها؟
زيتونة بالشوكة.